You know what's kind of fun that sort of makes school less boring sometimes? Clubs. School clubs are great. And nowadays, especially in the past few years, there's been kind of an explosion of them. You have sports, anime, Pokemon, video games, robotics, AI, virtual reality, games. You have coding, music production, TV production, movie production, pottery, other kinds of crafting clubs, small business clubs. Anyways, whatever. There's so many that, you even nowadays have after school Satan club. Yeah, it's a thing. Look, it's let's check this out. And let's not be bigoted. We should be inclusive to all different kinds of clubs and ideas. I mean, some schools have Bible clubs and other kinds of religious clubs and things like that. I'm sure some there's a school out there that has the religion of the Jedi or something as kind of a club or whatever. Which fine, okay, or philosophy of them, whatever you want to call it, the ideas of the Jedi, fine, but that probably exists somewhere. So let's check this out. Like, look, honestly, check out homeboy over there, Satan. If you put him in any kids cartoon in the past 5 years, he wouldn't really look out of place. Let's be honest. And it seems pretty, benign. There's science and community service projects, snacks, games, activities in nature, arts, you know, and the child is going to learn benevolence and empathy. I don't see what the big deal about this is. And it even goes further in the smaller print. The Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion, so there's no God in it or anything. They're not pushing a certain, figure that you should worship. It's not like these people are sort of putting on makeup and, worshiping the devil or something like that. They have a website where they tell you that sort of thing. And I'm sure like these people will tell the kids about, what the Satanic Temple really is about. um, you know, Satan, he's a literary figure. He's a representation of something. So they're not pushing any authority on students or anything, and they don't even attempt to convert children to any ideology. They children should think for themselves. All of it seems cool. All of their stuff is based on 7 fundamental tenets. I wonder what those are. Let's give it a. Oh, look, it's right here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the 7th one is really interesting. But look at the first. One should strive with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. All right, that seems empathy and compassion are good. Okay, ignore the last part, but that's good. And the last one, 7. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. Cool. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Hold on, how am I supposed to convince people that I'm right about something? I'm not going to fight them. I'm not going to hit them. I'm not going to bully them. I'm going to use the written or spoken word. I mean, all right. Oh, wait. Hold on. Written or spoken word. Is there a typo in this? I think there's a typo in this. Yeah. Check this out. Look. The last part. Written or spoken word. You see the word part? I think that should be capitalized. Because I think something is going on here. You may or may not know this. And I'll just come out and say it. I'm agnostic. I'm kind of on the sideline when it comes to is God real and that sort of thing. So, well, there you go. You can't say I'm some fundamentalist or whatever because I have no idea. That's a pretty, I don't know, it seems pretty, what's the word? Arrogant to think that, I can figure out the answer in at 36 years. And let's be honest, how long have I really sat down and thought about that? A few hours? In my entire life, maybe? I don't know. It's not that long to come to a conclusion on something as big as this. But Christians, Catholics, I know Protestants for sure, referred to the word written or spoken as the word of God or God's word. So if the spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice, they keep on using the same sort of words, prevails over the written word, wait, that should mean that this should prevail over God's written or spoken word, according to Christians and according to religious people, either directly inspired by God or passed down God to angel to human. Okay. Let's go back, because if the Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion that's supposed to be against the theistic religions, got it. And Satan's a literary figure. Hold on. He's not the main character in the original story. I guess this whole like Satanic Temple thing is like a Maleficent, like, oh, check out the other side of the story. But if I recall, no, if he's a literary figure, then God is supposed to be a literary figure too. Okay, which means the Satanic Temple is saying that, let's just say the Abrahamic religions they believe in a fairy tale. Huh, that's kind of subversive. Metaphorical construct. Okay, metaphorical means not real. Got it. You're saying it again. After School Satan Club does not attempt to convert children to any religious ideology. Right, because they're trying to convert the kids into no religious ideology. That's the point. You're supposed to have none because they're all fake. Children to think for themselves. That sounds cool, but then you think about it and it's like, who are the adults telling these children they're correct? Because that's something that no one considers. Like, oh, children should think for themselves. Okay, where are they thinking for themselves? Are they thinking for themselves in the presence of Sunday school and priests, in which them thinking for themselves, their thinking for themselves is going to be corrected into the correct way of thinking? Are they doing this in front of their parents? Which, okay, that's something else in which, educators shouldn't get too involved into. That's another video altogether. But I don't feel comfortable having a bunch of self-proclaimed Satanists advising children whether they're thinking from themselves is correct or incorrect. Because if you notice something about this, besides the whole benevolence, empathy, and compassion thing, there's a lot of science. You see, at the end, and emphasize a scientific, which is, shorthand for anti-religious for many people who are pushing this ideology. Rationalist, okay, once again, doubling down on scientific, because if you can't test it with scientific instruments, then it must not be there, rationally speaking. Non-superstitious, that's a triple down? Not just doubling down. Non-superstitious, because if you believe in an invisible person in the sky, then woo-woo, you're superstitious. Worldview. Okay. So this is an anti-religion religion. This is supposed to be like antimatter for the matter that is established religions. Oh, so it's like subversive, because if you go back to the story, what does Satan do in pretty much every story he's in? Look, he's Loki with a red skin. Like, that's what he is. And that's the nicest, that's the kindest interpretation of Satan. And what's really funny is I went on the website, the Satanic Temple website, that's where I got the 7 tenets from, and what's really interesting is right above the 7 tenets is this. You see, this is obviously, this is not what they pitch to the kids. They have to pitch the smiling, Satan person. Ignore the horns. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the hat. Do you see, that emphasizes science and rational thinking. Right, teacher. This homeboy can just walk into any university and no one's going to bat an eye. Maybe that's part of the problem. No. The adults get this. You see, the problem with this is, wait, what would be really awesome? I think it would be really funny if YouTube decides to age restrict this video because of the image I'm putting here. Because it'd be really funny that schools are totally allowed and it's totally kosher and okay for schools to pitch this after school Satan Club, but I can't show you an image from the actual website that is a truer representation of the Satanic Temple. And I mean, you have your ram head with horns affixed to a pentagram. Cool. like literary device. I don't okay, imagine what pentagrams have been used for in as a literary device. I don't think to summon bunny rabbits is one of them. The the skulls around this ram head with the I don't know, it looks like laurel leaves, probably not. Definitely not. Oh my gosh, I'm being dumb. I don't know. Of course, like my ignorance is showing, but you have leaves around it. Okay, I'm not whatever. I don't care about the freaking leaves. What I care about is the skull and crossbones with the the bones going through the skull. Yeah, I'm just gonna interpret it that way because why not? Entrails coming from the right on top of the skull and crossbones. Like I don't think this is something you want to show children. I don't think this is. Ugh, there's a reason why this is the adult version. And dragons. I don't know about you, but whenever I think of dragons, I think of kindness. I think of compassion. I think of empathy. I think of all the times they saved humans. I think all of the times that they've been the hero in stories and things like that. Because of course, when you combine a big cat, you know, cats that still kill people on planet Earth, like mountain lions and tigers and lions and things like that, a big bird. Just look up golden eagle. That'll be viewer discretion advised. Terrible things happen. Sheep, cliffs. Yeah, eagle. They're huge. Also, snake. Oh my god, snake. Isn't like a snake the most villainous creature that exists as a literary device and, you know, like in books and basically everything? Like, dude, Adam and Eve. Okay, oh, I'm being biased. Dude, you call people snakes when they're being shady. Like, come on. You take the three creatures that are essentially the closest thing you have to what do you call it? Oh yeah, murder machines. And then you give it a flamethrower. Where's the empathy in the freaking flamethrower, dude? This is BS. This is stupid. All of this is dumb. You need to call out dumb things that you see around you. Actively call them out. This is Look, this is what's happening. You have special interest groups trying to attach themselves to terminology, to words, to ideas, to philosophies that, for the most part, are palatable, are digestible by the American population. Science, that's a good one. So attach whatever ideology you can to science to legitimize it. And this is what the Satanic Temple is doing. They're using science to legitimize themselves. To middle schoolers. I'm sure these groups are in elementary schools too. They're definitely in high schools. And like, you just have to call it out. No. As a teacher, I suggest all parents homeschool their kids, microschool their kids. Get out of the public school system. As a teacher, I say this. I've been in the system for 10 years. That's the honest truth. Charter schools are pretty good, but the bigger the school, the less they're going to care about your kid. Well, that's it. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one. You know what? I'm not done. No. This literary figure thing is really upsetting because you're telling me that you couldn't pick any other better representation of the human spirit than Satan? Is Satan human? Okay, Odysseus. That's a good one. Any Greek mortal hero from Greek mythology? That's a bunch. Theseus, Perseus would be a few. Let's add in Prometheus. Why not? Because we're also talking about non-human things that can show the human spirit. So, yeah, that's one. Let's see. Dionysus. His rituals were banned for, God knows how long. Let's see. Some modern examples. Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, John Wick, Neo from The Matrix, Katniss from The Hunger Games, Bruce Willis in Die Hard, pretty much every single Marvel and DC hero, Superman, Iron Guy, Spider Dude. Oh, I have a good one. What about Mr. Freeze? That'd be an interesting one. If you don't know, look him up. Let's see. Sarah Connor, Aang from Avatar The Last Airbender, the Elric brothers from Fullmetal Alchemist. On that note, many protagonists from anime. Real life examples would be Spartacus, MLK, Gandhi. Socrates, can you imagine if we had the temple of honest questioning? Actual honest questions from people who aren't trying to be subversive, aren't trying to sneak in some random ideology that's kind of icky. Just people who actually want to understand the world in a better way and are honest about their questions, and hopefully they get honest answers to their honest questions. Nah, we can't have that. We can't have nice things because we don't deserve nice things in our society. Not in the United States, not in 2023, definitely not. What have we done to merit good things? Like, you know what would be a good thing actually better than Socrates would be the Temple of Uncle Iroh. And if you've never seen Avatar The Last Airbender, you need to watch it. You need to watch it immediately. It's wonderful. It'll bring tears to your eyes multiple times. But Uncle Iroh, if you have him in your life, actually, you are lucky. And I hope you understand how lucky you are. This is a character who did terrible things. And it took a tragedy for them to understand the terrible things they've done and how they've affected others. And then to actually dedicate the rest of your life. Because think about it, if you spend 10 years being an awful human being, you're going to have to spend at least 10 years becoming not an awful human being. And Uncle Iroh's the embodiment of that. He went from a hateful villain to someone you would beg to have in your actual life because you wish you had that sort of guidance. You're not going to get that from the Satanic Temple. I hope you find your Uncle Iroh. Alright, now I'm done for real.